Well, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, especially students out there. With the current situation, we have not been able to come to you, but that doesn't mean that we forgot about you. We always thinking about you, and this is our part one of the African culture and history lesson that we are trying to put it out there. First of all, we're going to remind you, we're going to refresh your memory about what we talk about, concerning the African culture. I'm going to share my slide with you here. As you can see right here, this is the map of the world. And we all know that there are seven continents, in the world. And especially the one that we are talking about here, it is the one that is in the middle here, which is the second largest continent after Asia. Um, Going through the next slide here, we know that Africa has six different regions. First of all, it has 55 countries, and the regions are divided into six, which is North Africa, South Africa, West Africa, East Africa, Central Africa, and then the African island. Just to let you know that it has more than 2 billion people. Okay, we talk about that. We also talk about how many languages are spoken in Africa. There are over 3,000 languages spoken in Africa. And talking about this statement here, just raise your hand, just thumbs up if you agree with this statement, or thumbs down if you disagree. It simply means Africa is a jungle. All Africans live with the wild animals. They don't have food to eat and clothes to wear. If you think this statement it is true, just have your thumbs up. Okay. And if you think this is not true, just have your thumbs down if you disagree. So actually, you could discuss this with your parent. According to us here, this is not right because not all Africa is jungle, and not all people in Africa live with the wild animals. And I'm from Africa, and so I have food to eat when I was living out there. I have clothes to wear. So just a part of this item is what we are saying here, okay? So the next slide also talk about how Africa's jungle. The whole continent is not a jungle, okay? Only a small part of this continent is actually jungle and then rainforest, okay? This is another statement here. If you think this is true, just have your thumbs up. If you think this is not true, just have your thumbs down. It simply says, does Africa have a flag and a common language the same way as the United States of America? We know Africa is a continent and United States of America is not a continent, it's a country. So just have your thumbs up if you think this is true, or have your thumbs down if you think it is not true. Again, this is just a fresh reminder, for you all. This is not right, okay? So because we know that Africa is a big continent, and then it has 55 countries, so each country has a flag, okay? As you can see right here, each country has a flag, okay? So there are 55 countries out there, and there are 55 flags, okay? So before we take you to Africa, because we want to share this slide with you. 2 years ago, we took our artist and we took our board to Africa, and we want to share this slide with you. But before we do that, let's just come down and ask you this question here. So we know that Africa, again, it is a continent, and there are 55 countries, and it has 50, it has a six region, and we all name those regions. Okay, so just discuss with your parents and ask them some question about Africa, what you guys learned so far before we take you to Africa. You see right here, the plane is leaving, and you're gonna cross the ocean. Sometimes you could go from New York or from Atlanta and you go to Europe. You go up high to Europe, France or Paris, and then from Europe you come down to Africa. But sometimes we like to go straight across the ocean. That's the easy way. And this is just a coming back, okay? So as I was saying before, this is the trip that our member and artist took 2 years ago. So they left Omaha to Minneapolis, and Minneapolis to JFK, which is New York. And then New York, they flew straight to Accra. So as you can see, those are the slide. That's the JFK screen that is showing that they're leaving. Again, Africa, it is so beautiful. This is them waiting to board the plane from JFK. That it is in a plane actually. So again, it will take you about 11 or 12 hours all the way to Africa. We thought you guys will enjoy watching this. That's from the plane. So they were so excited. They were so excited. That's our board member and artist sitting right there. Again, Africa is so beautiful, and as you can see, they are in Africa at this moment. So you see the airport of Accra. Accra is the cities, is the main cities in Ghana. Ghana, it is the name of the country. You can see they're all together. They have to go through the custom. Again, most of them were traveling with the U.S. passport. You see it right there. It is so after that. So I went up there. I was waiting for them to welcome them, and that's one of our elder. Just welcoming them. It is so wonderful. It is so wonderful. That is outside of the airport, as you can see. So after the airport, we took them to the hotel. We host them, at the Accra City Hotel. You can see that that is the hotel. It is so beautiful. Now they are going to go see the art center, get some food to eat. We might show you some some food right here, so you can see. We're gonna show you some food. So before we show you some of the African food that you eat, at the restaurant or in every houses out there, we want to show you the cooking in African villages. This is how they cook, in African villages. If you're not living in a city, and you're living in in the villages, this is how you cook. You cook open air, okay? And here are some of the food that we usually eat. This is rice and beans with the fish, fried fish, and spaghettis and couscous. So this is called atasi, okay? This is my favorite one. This is called cassava. Cassava is like a vegetable. It could be like sweet potatoes, and this is sweet potatoes flour that you mix. You have your onions and green pepper, and again fried fish. This is great food that we eat. So this is another one. This is called aloko. It's plantain, fried plantain, and fried chicken and spaghetti and tomato sauce. But be careful. Be really careful for those spicy. It is very spicy. So we just want to share this type of food with you. Again, thank you so much for watching. This is part 1 of our African culture and history lesson. So thank you and talk to you soon.